Hello, friends. It is that time again. We are live streaming from the Flatiron Arts Building in Chicago, and this is this is going to be the opening act for Transformation, presented by the Living Canvas and Nothing Without a Company. Every performance, we have a opening act, a portrait performance is what we've been calling them. Someone who is local, who is trans or otherwise gender non-conforming. And yeah, tonight it is Charlene Seifert. So we are going to, as usual, take a little tour around, and then there will be a performance, and then there will be Transformation. But we're not going to stream Transformation. You got to come see it if you want to see it. So first today, backstage. We're starting backstage here. We got a nice view out onto the corner of Damon and North and Milwaukee here in Chicago. Very nice. And it's our dressing room, but it's very dark, so actually I'm not going to show you, because that's not interesting for anyone. Let's head out onto the stage. Good evening, friends.
Hello.
Hello. We are live once again.
Yo, what up? Do a ridiculous position live.
Yes.
Yay.
Haha.
Hello, the internet.
Success.
I'm gonna stop that now.
Right below Gabriel, this is our piece by Shazak Silva.
Yeah.
Called Patched Up Kid. It was submitted for our zine.
And it's very pointy.
Yeah. Can Facebook Live record that?
Well, I mean, if I turn this way, you can see how things are sticking out.
Very good, very good.
Yes.
What?
Oh, people are adding to the gender board. Good.
I know.
Today we added the names of the flags, which were not on here before. This one I hadn't known about before. And this information just got added to the board as well.
Is a thing that exists.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see what got added today. Oh, this is a cute little squid. Look at that. Or possibly a cuttlefish. There's some kind of little squid or cuttlefish up in the corner. Yes.
Hello.
Hello, it's our faces.
Wow. Amazing.
Wow. Such
Never would've guessed
faces.
they existed.
Yeah. Oh, are we? Oh, it is the time. All right. Oh, thanks. I always have an interesting time trying to do this. Bye bye. Oh, that's your stuff? Okay. Got it.
Hi Facebook.
Hello.
Thank you all so much for being here. So before every performance of Transformation, we invite a local performer in the community to do a little pre-show portrait for you. And so I'm very, very happy and excited, partly because I've never seen them perform before, but to welcome the Charlene Seifert doing Pants. Let's give them a round of appluse. A couple of months ago, I posted on Facebook trying on a new pair of pants, but I left the tags on in case I want to return them. Pronouns: they, them, call me B. It was the first time I had ever expressed publicly something I had been struggling with for the better part of 5 months, or really for more than 30 years. In true Facebook friendship through a screen response, I received several comments of support, likes, loves, emojis, and more than 2 people commented on how great my butt looked in the pants. In case you didn't know, it's super hard to have an identity crisis when you're 34. First of all, you judge yourself a lot. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you probably should have had this all figured out by now, right? Isn't that what college is all about? But then again, when I was in college, my uber Christian conservative self was still struggling with the fact that I liked girls. So who's really to say what age is more or less acceptable to have an identity crisis? Second of all, you second guess yourself, pretty much the whole time. Do I really feel this way? Have I been struggling with my identity my whole life? Do I want to be a boy or a girl? Or is it because lately I've been more part of the trans community? I have more friends who are trans. Their trans rights has been more on the forefront of the news, of my Facebook feed, and therefore of my mind, so that I feel more comfortable asking these questions about myself. That, God forbid, I say trans people are more accepted now? Then you go back to judging yourself by asking the hardest question. Are you doing this because this is who you are? Or are you selfishly searching for attention because you're just unhappy with who you've always been? And now being trans is mainstream, it's popular, it's okay. Are you just jumping on the bandwagon to find your section? I have this best friend. She lives very far away with her wife and child. And she doesn't have a lot of time to hear my late night ponderings about my identity crisis. In fact, when I told her that I was struggling with my gender identity, she told me that I was just a butch lesbian who liked to dress like a boy, that I don't have body dysmorphia because she knew people with body dysmorphia and I was not one of them, and that because she was learning to be a speech pathologist and therefore knew all about grammar, that they and them were not gender pronouns and they really annoyed her. I was able to eventually convince her of the legitimacy of they and them, but only after showing her an article about the American Dialect Society and how they had made the singular they the word of the year, and thus accepted as a gender-neutral pronoun. She did apologize. And then she humbly offered some advice. That no one can tell me who I am. I have to figure that out for myself. But damn, wouldn't it be easier if someone could just tell you, right? No. I need to find a resolution through a convincing argument based on evidence of the final verdict. Should I take the tag off the pants or not? So I present to the court some anecdotal evidence. Now I had a bunch of pictures of me when I was a child for the proof for you all, but couldn't get PowerPoint working with it, so you're gonna have to just imagine. When I was born, I came out of my mother's vagina, on my back, face up, not a care in the world, full head of hair, and a strong little body. The The doctor picked me up under my armpits and held me up to my mother and said, "Congratulations, you have a healthy baby boy." So my mom was an army nurse and very well educated in the genital differences between males and females, and she was staring right at my vagina and asked him to check again. "Whoops," was his response. "It's a girl." He had assumed, based on my full head of hair and strong little body, that I was a male. And so if we go back to the first thing that my ears heard after being birthed, it was that my original assigned gender was male. We would cut now to a picture of me as a newborn, with a really nice full hawk. Then to me as a 2-year-old inside my first castle. I'd like to call to the stand my half-sister, Nancy, and go to my 5th year on Earth. Nancy is driving my sister and I in the car, and as she tells me, I am throwing the worst 5-year-old temper tantrum you could ever imagine. Yelling, screaming, crying, kicking in my car seat, doing everything in my power to literally explode in the car. She pulls over and turns to me in the back and screams, "What is wrong?" And I scream back, "God won't make me a boy for Christmas!" I present to the court more physical evidence of my gender in question. My 2nd grade school picture where I wore a vest and tie and had the very popular bowl cut, fashioned by my male schoolmates. A picture of me having stolen a tube of wrapping paper, took all the wrapping paper off, made it into a sword, fashioned myself a hat, and ran around playing knight. The following Christmas, where I received my first sword in an effort to save my mother's wrapping paper from getting destroyed. The following year, where I received a Lego pirate ship. I present to you my Halloween costumes from the 90s, where I was thankfully allowed to be whatever I wanted to be, a knight, this time with a sword and a shield, then a pirate, not pictured, a vampire, and then several years following where I was either just a knight, a pirate, or a vampire, cycling the same costumes over and over again. I used to be called weird as a kid, back before kids had a better and more vulgar thesaurus for the word weird. I was picked on for my desire to do more male-dominated activities. I used to try standing up to pee, but ended up just making a huge mess, so I would sit on the toilet backwards. I idolized my father. One time I shaved my face, and my mother flipped out, saying it would grow back and be darker and hairier. I thought that was okay. I wanted to take karate. I was forced to take ballet. I quit because they made me wear pink. Had any of these happened today, perhaps my constant questioning and fear would not be an issue. Perhaps at this point, I would have transitioned. But unfortunately, this was the 90s, where trans wasn't even talked about, especially not in the military. So I was called a tomboy and encouraged, if not made, to wear feminine clothes and participate in traditionally girl activities with some outlets of rebellion, like playing drums instead of clarinet. Regardless, it all felt off. And as I grew older, my desire to conform to the ways of junior high and high school, my anxiety about trying to like boys even though I wanted to be like them, forcing myself even up through college to wear dresses, go to church, have a boyfriend, be a girl. Whenever I did any of this, I just felt like an imposter. But does all of this mean I'm trans? Does this mean I want to get top surgery, take testosterone, change my passport? They, them is an accepted gender pronoun now. To me, something like part female, part male, but not totally one or the other. And maybe this is just another fear creeping up, but am I using gender neutrality as a crutch because I'm afraid of going full trans? Does this mean I'm going to have to come out to my father again? I mean, who the first time said he wasn't surprised but then slapped a remark that stung so hard I will never forget the blow. What would your mother say? I was 22. My mother had died when I was 16. I'd like to think that she would be proud of me and love me regardless, was my response. So with this much pressure, this feeling of a lifetime of juxtapositioning rebellion with conformity, trying to behave and dress as society would standardize it, with all the while wishing I could just shop in the men's section, that my hips weren't as big, that my boobs could be smaller, so I wouldn't feel so self-conscious when I would wear a seatbelt-style backpack, which was super popular at one point, I swear. And then being told in grad school that in order to be a better actor, I needed to explore my feminine side. So I bought dresses again, and put on makeup, and let my hair grow out, and probably looked like an amateur drag queen. And used used lesbian as an excuse for acting masculine. With all of this, 5 months ago I decided to try on a new pair of pants. Right around when all of this was happening, I took on a lover. Probably not the wisest of decisions to make when you're going through an identity crisis, but winter is coming and we all need someone to be warm with. The surprising thing was that this person in my life is not just a bedfellow, but a friend. And we both know that it isn't a long-term relationship with marriage and a house and retirement. If you could imagine the old nostalgic image of a lover, someone you confide in, who you spend intimate time with, divulging your innermost secrets and fears and desires, and yes, have a lot of amazing sex. In my head, we're all wearing a lot of French lace, and it's the 1800s, and I have a sword. Anyways, this is them. And it's been their presence and acceptance that has given me the confidence to continue wearing these pants. My lover has patiently gone along with every new fear about my gender neutrality with grace and love. When I said, call me B, they said, okay, B. When I said, maybe I want to go by Tom, like my late night persona, Tomboy, that's stolen from when I was a child, they said, okay, Tom. When I told them the feminine form of my middle name was Charlie, they said they really liked Charlie. And to be honest, I really like it too. There's just one problem, it's also my dad's name. Can you imagine in the middle of your most intimate moments and the person you're with yells out your dad's name? Definitely ruins the mood. But, okay. Okay, B. Okay, Tom. Okay, Charlie. I'll call you whatever you want. Rose by any other name, it smells sweet, right, Julia? There's comfort in that. There's stability. There's encouragement. There's freedom. Identity is a funny thing. The fear, the judgment, the doubts, all interconnected, make going through a crisis older in life that much harder. There's 34 years of trying and failing and trying and succeeding, trying. Who am I? I don't have the answer yet. So for now, the tags are going to stay on the pants. They, them.